Hey, what's up, youth? It's Colton here, and I just want to take a couple minutes just to talk about something that I think a lot of us are experiencing right now, and that is like after camp burnout, or maybe we're not feeling as passionate as we were up at camp, or maybe we feel disconnected from the Lord. And trust me when I say this is a real thing that a lot of us experience. I've done many camps. I think I've done over 10, and every single time I've been up at a camp, I come back and I feel that burnout. I feel like not as connected. And it's a discouraging thing because, it makes us think like, was everything we experienced up at camp real? Were these things like actually like something that were life-changing, or is it just a camp experience? And the thing is that yes, those things are very real. The presence of the Lord that you felt, the characteristics that you've learned about him, the friends that you made, those are all real things. But ultimately, when we come back to the real world, it can be a very dark and discouraging place that pulls our attention and our focus away from those amazing things that happen. And so what I want to do right now is just give you guys some encouragement, give you guys some tips that I've learned in some passages in the Bible that have helped me work through that burnout and help me keep that flame and that fire and that passion going after camp. And so bear with me as I share a couple things that I've learned, as that's cool. The first one is as simple as this: being with God. I know it sounds cheesy, but the deal is that we need to spend intentional time with the Lord. And the reason why is because we're not going to feel close to him if we aren't spending time with him. And the best way I like to think about it is like a relationship where if we had a friend that we only talked to like once a year, that wouldn't be a relationship. That wouldn't be a friendship. That would just be like someone we saw once a year. And so don't treat God like that. Don't treat like worshiping him like that, but instead seek after his presence each and every single day. I love one of the verses in Psalm 63. It says this: "My soul thirsts for you, my flesh faints for you, in a dry and weary land where there is no water." And here's the deal, is that we need to have this dependency for God's presence and ultimately seeking and chasing after it each and every single day. And there's two ways we can do that. If you're a Christian, you're going to hate me when I say it because you've heard this your entire life, but it's this: reading your Bible and praying. When we read our Bible, many of us can view it as a checklist item, but ultimately this is God telling us who he is. This is God showing us through his word. This is him sharing about his love, his goodness, his faithfulness. Every single characteristic that he is right inside of here. And so the deal is that we don't need just to read this, but we need to spend time with it. Let these verses and these passages sink into your life. Let them shape who you are, and ultimately don't just view it as a book, but view it as God speaking to you. View it as God literally giving you direction on how to live your life. And so I know that's difficult for some of you. I hate reading. I'm stuck at reading comprehension. It takes me a couple times to understand it. But when we let these words sink into our lives, when we let him meditate on us, we're going to feel the presence of the Lord because he's speaking to us right here. And the other thing that I mentioned was prayer. Prayer, so many of us view it again as a checklist item, or we view it as something that we do before we eat or before we go to bed. But prayer is actually talking to the Lord. So this is the Lord speaking to us, and then prayer is us talking to the Lord. And the thing is that when we pray, we should be really intentional with that time. Set aside a time for you to go and do that, and give the Lord your heart. Don't just do it just to do it. Share what you're actually going through with him. I like to follow a simple model. It's called ACTS, but I think it's actually a beautiful way for some of you guys to get started with praying. It's this. A stands for I think adore or admire. Doesn't really matter. Both of those words work. Basically, adoration. That was the word. Anyways, adoration. Give God praise. Give God glory. I start off with just something as simple as God, you are amazing, whatever that might be for you. And then move on to a time of just confession. Just confess what you're going through. Tell the Lord, hey, I messed up, because trust me, we all mess up each and every single day. And ask for forgiveness in that moment. Live in God's grace in that moment, and know that you're forgiven when you do confess and you bring those things to the Lord. And then T stands for thankfulness, whatever. Anyways, give the Lord thanks. And so there's amazing things. The Lord does amazing things each and every single day. It could even be waking up. It could be a fact that you had an amazing piece of French toast this morning, because I did. But regardless of what it is, give God thanks for the amazing things he's done in your life. And then the last part is S, supplication. It's a fancy word for asking God for what you want. And obviously you want to ask for things that are in God's will. You don't want to just ask, I want a ton of money, XYZ, but ask God to reveal his will for you. Ask him to give you wisdom. Ask him for guidance and prayer in all these situations in life. And the key to all of this is to spend time doing it. Don't just do it just to do it, but treat it like you're actually talking to the God who created you, who created the universe. So that's like one of the things I like to do, is be with God, take time to do it each and every single day. The second thing is to remember who God is and what he's done. You know, it's so difficult, especially when we come back from the mountain. We get so distracted by all the things of this world, and we begin to let those things cloud our vision of who God is. I just set my table. We let those things cloud our vision of who God is. But one of my favorite Psalms that I look to like help me to remember God's goodness, I guess, is Psalm 77. If you guys know me, you know that I reference this thing a lot, but I truly do resonate with this. The psalmist in this one, it says, it was Asaph who did it. Look at that. Anyways, he mentions in the first stanza, he says this line, "When I remember God, I moan. When I meditate, my spirit faints." What he's saying here is this, is that he just feels like spiritual dryness. He doesn't even know like if God's there anymore. He like doesn't feel the presence of the Lord. But then he continues it on throughout the passage. And again, I recommend you read this yourself, but I'm paraphrasing everything here too. In the later half of the psalm, he goes on and talks about how he will remember the deeds of the Lord. He will remember the wonders of old. He's going to ponder the works and meditate on his mighty deeds. And so my encouragement to you guys is to remember what the Lord has done. Yes, that can be the events that happen at camp, but also what's happened throughout your life. And when I say remember, like literally take that to heart and remember the goodness. I literally have a post-it note inside of here of things that I just remember when the Lord's done something good in my life. And the reason why I do that is so that I just like continually bring those things to mind, so I can see how good the Lord has been and how he's working inside my life and how he will continue to work in my life each and every single day, not just on the top of a mountain up at camp. And the last thing that I want to share with you guys is just be a part of youth ministry. You know, it's hard to walk through life alone. Trust me, like when you're walking through life and you don't have friends and all that kind of stuff, it can be difficult, and the things in the world are going to pull you away again. So my encouragement to you is be a part of youth ministry, not because we want you to sit inside of a chair and listen to a message, not because we just want you to like be a part of the church, but we want you to like experience friendships, experience community, experience life change, and ultimately have friends who are also in relationship with God. Because when you are going through those tough seasons, when you are going through this season of burnout or letting that fire flame go away, you have friends there to support you and keep you going and to like encourage you through that season. And the thing is too, is we have youth leaders here who are here to disciple you and help you grow in those seasons of life too. And the thing is that like we are here to just ultimately like help you feel closer to God. And so don't like miss out on this opportunity. Don't miss out on youth nights. Don't miss out on youth weekends. Don't miss out on small groups, because like we are in this together. It's not just like a you and God thing. It's a you, God, and us thing, if that makes sense. And so we really want to help you grow in them. And so those are the three simple things that I have. Be with God, remember who he is, and be a part of youth. And so, you know, if you are experiencing all that burnout or the flame going out, talk to your small group leader, talk to one of us, one of our staff members, talk to your friends about it, because ultimately we're here to encourage you and help you grow and move through that. And so, like I said, these are just some things that help me to work through that. And trust me, it's difficult. Trust me, I'm even going through a season of that right now. But through these simple ways, I found a way to just help me to continue that passion and that zeal going for the Lord. And the last thing I want to leave you with is this, is like I said in the beginning of the video, the Lord never changes. He's no different on top of a mountain. He's no different in your bedroom. He's no different at school. He's no different at your friend's house or at a sports game. God's character, it never changes, and God will always be with you. And so the thing is that don't like view him as far away. Don't view him as someone who's like not a part of your life, but recognize that he's been with you each and every step of your way. So anyways, that being said, those are just a couple of encouragements I have for you. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Later.